Coming to you direct from Silencer Shop Studios, home of the Glass Case of Emotion.
SilencerShop.com, the easiest way to buy silencers online, period.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
All right. It's Thursday, but it's part 2 of the special edition NRAAM 2016. What is that? The National Rifle Association annual meeting and exhibits. We're going to talk more about that today. What did we see? Who did we talk to? What did we do? What was cool and neat? What do we have coming up for you? And that's something that we didn't even have time to talk about yesterday, was what neat, cool, interesting, gee whiz stuff did we see? And we did see some of that we're going to be promoting and or making available to you. Jared was he was working like an Arab trader. He was bartering like an Arab trader there at the floor, trying to figure out what neat, interesting, cool things we could offer to the Student of the Gun audience.
Yes, I was doing that.
That you were doing.
And there's two things that I'm really excited about. Do you want to talk about them now, or do you want to wait till a little bit later?
Oh, I don't know. Are they from our sponsors, or are they just from mutual friends, or what's...
Yes.
Yes and yes?
They're not really from sponsors, per se.
Per se?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go ahead and talk about, real quick, let's bang on the things that are new from our friends like Duracoat. So we went over, we talked to Duracoat, and they agreed that they're going to give away a goodie pack for the winner of the Student of the Gun Gun Tat contest.
Yep.
So thumbs up there. What is new at Duracoat? Everything. They have every color
they have
imaginable.
A pretty new, a pretty cool new finish that they're going to be. I don't know if they've revealed it yet or not.
Well, they have the metallic finishes.
They
have the
Show.
Rainbow finishes. They have the fluorescent finishes. They have the standard finishes. They have the Parkerized finishes. They have the blue finishes. Yeah. If you have a gun that you want to redo, or it looks like crap, I don't care what you want to do to it. If you want to make it neon pink, or you want to make it flat, dark earth, or blue,
slightly darker black,
they can help you do it. Duracoat, because why? Because life's too short to have an ugly gun. Bingo. Brownells, their booth was just full of stuff, pieces, parts, components, things you can attach to a gun, put in a gun, strap onto a gun. I don't care. And then, of course, if you go to the survival section, that was it, emergency and survival gear.
Yeah.
They have everything you need to prepare for hurricane season, which is crap. 1 week away. Hurricane season is in a week. It begins in a week. So there's that. Frog Lube Extreme, what has Frog Lube got going? Well, they're promoting their Extreme product. And that's what Frog Lube is promoting. The Extreme, and also Larry told me that he was gonna try and focus more this year on the solvent, meaning, do I have to clean my gun? Yeah.
Yep.
Every once in a while, I know this is a foreign concept to you kids out there, but every once in a while, you need to actually clean it. Well, I do clean it. I put oil on it every day. I put Hoppe's number 9. Every time I go to shoot, I dump some Hoppe's number 9 on the gun. No, you actually, at some point in time, need to take it apart, put some type of a solvent on there, take all of the, because you guys know when you shoot, it's a dirty process, right? When the powder changes from a solid to a gas instantaneously and it burns, that it leaves behind a residue.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Oh. I thought that was actually cleaning your gun.
When did this start? I thought I could fire my guns clean.
Yeah, I was about to say, I think that fire would,
No, it leaves behind carbon and residue and occasionally unburnt powder. And if you shoot a certain brand of ammunition that's loaded with like dirt, there's that stuff in in your gun. And it doesn't matter how much oil or lubricant and I don't care what your favorite lubricant product is. It doesn't matter. The fact is if you put lubricant on it and then you continue to shoot hundreds, thousands of rounds, then the lubricant starts, it builds up with the dirty part, the carbon and the unburnt powder and the nastiness. And even once in a while, you get things just like dirt and dust and sand in there. Take that sucker apart and clean it once in a while. Just go crazy. And you can do that with the Frog Lube products. They have both the CLP and then they have the solvent. And both of those, the cool thing about both of those is neither one of them are corrosive or will destroy your primers, or it's food grade. You could eat it. I don't know if you'd want to, but you could. And if you got a Century Arms product, whether it's a pistol or a rifle or what have you, you might want to clean that thing once in a while too. Cool thing, we saw, what's funny? I thought that the SPFX was already in full production and ready, and I didn't realize that, Jared, when we went to the NASGW in October, that the one that they had in the booth was a prototype. It was like the first one in existence. They just created it and assembled it and put it together for that show. Did you know that?
You want to know what's crazy from a technological standpoint?
What?
At NASGW, we were able to live stream from the floor. Remember, you and Jacob did something?
Oh, yeah. We live. That was like one of those first dealios.
Yeah.
It was a Periscope thing.
Yeah. Well, at the NRA convention, the service sucked so bad because everybody was probably trying to live stream.
Everyone in the world. There was thousands of people
and they were sucking the bandwidth, and they just
we couldn't do it.
You know what? They forgot that what I'm doing is more important than what everybody else is doing.
Everybody else in the world. That's right. We could not live stream Friday's Morning Mindset from the floor because it just would not support it. So that's just the way it works. But we put a picture of it up on our Instagram and on our Facebook page, and it's the Century Arms is the Canik TP9 SFX. Well, what is the SFX? It's got a bunch of like super cool G-Wiz
Special Forces Extreme.
Yeah, Special Forces Extreme. It's an optics-ready gun. You're going to be able to put a mini red dot on it, and it has a long slide, and it has an extended magazine base, and it's kind of cool. Go take a look at it. I actually, now that I've held it and looked at it more, I've decided that I want to shoot one, that I need to get one and shoot it, so there's that. Mm-hmm. Don't forget about using the SWAT Fuel promo code SOTG201 and how do I do that? Should I go to SWATfuelstore.com?
Yes, go to SWATfuelstore.com.
Oh, okay, cool.
Now, I don't know, dude, the winner of the year, Ryan Hepfer, he won the Oxbox, the coffee box, and then Dan called him and told him that he won the Indy 500 tickets, but he politely declined because he's coming to the Beyond the Band-Aid class this weekend. So the Indy 500 is on the 29th, which is Sunday, I believe.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So I think he gets Student of the Year, too, for declining that to come see us.
That's crazy. The people at the Indy 500 really screwed up.
Yeah.
They should not have scheduled that the same weekend as a Beyond the Band-Aid class.
Yeah, exactly.
They should have known better.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, what's up? You guys rigged that. No, bros. We
had zero control.
We had nothing to do with that. We had nothing to do with the picking. As a matter of fact, that was going on while we were traveling.
Yep.
While we were doing our travel. So hip them to the 41F thing, and then we're going to make sure that all our new listeners know what to do.
Here's the deal. If you want to be hip to 41F, go to silencershop.com. Check out the Powered by Silencer Shop guarantee, and that's that. Just go to silencershop.com, and you can get all the information about the new 41F regulation there.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a free training video series called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. We want you to have access to this life-saving information. Get instant access now at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of those questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
That is correct, and that is a lovely Miss Alex. And if you're a new listener to Student of the Gun, welcome. We're glad that you're here, and we wanted to make sure that you knew that you're like, well, I found this radio thing, this podcasty thing that my friend told me I should listen to, but do you guys do anything else? Yeah, we do lots of anything else's. We do a ton of anything else's. We have the radio show, and we have the TV show, and I have the books. Jared, should I say what I have written? Because it kind of bums me out, quite frankly, because I think over here on my side, I'm thinking, Paul, you need to not be blowing your horn so much. Everybody already knows. If they know about the books, they know about the Honey Badger book, they know about the Faith and the Patriot, they know about it.
Yeah, I say just tell them.
But then I encounter people on the floor of the NRA annual meeting. I encounter people, and they're like, well, what have you been up to? And I said, oh, well, we're doing radio 5 days a week, and, we're doing TV, and we're on season 6 now of Student of the Gun TV. And, I wrote a couple of books last year. And they're like, oh, you wrote a couple of books last year. I said, yeah. I said, well, one of the biggest ones, or the most recent, was the Team Honey Badger. What's that about? And I thought to myself, did we not talk about that enough? Apparently we didn't. Team Honey Badger is all about, what is it about? It's about raising fearless kids in a cowardly world. Let's face it. Right now, United States of America, 2016, we are a cowardly nation. We have people that are trying to convince your children on a daily basis that they should be cowards, that they should be subservient, that they should obey the state. Do I need to tick off the tens, dozens, hundreds, thousands of incidents that we encounter almost on a daily basis, where the organized state, where the public schools are trying to convince your children that they can't defend themselves, and if they defend themselves, that they're wrong, that if a kid is picking on them, is bullying them, if a kid attacks them and they fight back, that they're just as guilty as the person that attacked them? Yeah, that's the world that we're living in today. Your kids, they're trying to indoctrinate and brainwash your children into being good little peasants, good little socialistic slaves. And that's bullcrap. And we, as the adult generation, as the parent generation here in the 20 teens, we're doing our kids a disservice, because we assume that whether we say it out loud or not, let's face it, at some point in time you thought, oh man, kids today, they're so much more advanced than we were. They're so much more advanced than we were. Why? Why are they so much more advanced? Oh, well, they have the internet. We didn't have the internet. They have smartphones. We didn't have smartphones. They have laptops. We didn't have laptops. How does that make them advanced? The ability to manipulate a gadget does not denote intelligence. You could give a chimpanzee an iPhone and give him enough time, and he'll figure out how to poke the right buttons and make the Super Happy Fun Time appear on the screen. Learning how to play Candy Crush and Angry Birds on your iPhone does not denote intelligence. And what we've done, adults, listen to me, is we've just kind of assumed that because the information, you're like, yeah, but Paul, with the internet, I mean, any subject, any topic, anything you want to know, you can search it and you can find it. Now, some of it is bullcrap, but you can find it. We assume that access to information is the same as intelligence. It's the same as education. Brothers and sisters, it's not. And that was one of the main reasons that I wrote Team Honey Badger. Besides the fact that that the world is trying to teach our boys to be subservient little soy-fed manginas. If you're with me, if this is interesting to you, if you're down with it, we have a limited number of signed copies you can get from studentofthegungear.com. And you say, I like you, Paul, but I don't give a crap about your signature. Okay, that's cool, too. I don't care. Go to Amazon.com. You can get a paperback copy from Amazon, or you can get a Kindle. If you're a Kindle dude or a Kindle dudette, you can go there and pick that up, too. So if nothing else, my responsibility is to make sure that you're aware of this. And if you don't want to buy it, that's the thing, Jared. I think if you're not interested, that's cool. But I at least want you to be aware that it's out there. Read, and if you're still not convinced, pop on over there and read some of the reviews of people who actually have read it, and then make up your own mind. All right, I see you're over there scrolling around on your super smartphone that has an official Student of the Gun protective case on it.
Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about that yesterday.
You didn't talk about that. You didn't talk about
no,
the
that was
protective
earlier
cases?
today. That was We are partnering with Griffin Technologies, and they have a Survivor case. They actually have two different ones. They have like a rugged version, which has a screen cover and everything, and then they have got like the regular Survivor version that's just the drop safe around the edge. Both we're going to have that have the Student of the Gun logo on them. It'll say I am a Student of the Gun. And then I believe we're going to have the Team Honey Badger and the Patriot Fire Team. The cool thing about the Survivor, no, it's the Identity case. I think that might be the one Alex has. It's called Identity Case, where you can buy the insert and the outer part that goes around your phone, and then you can interchange the inserts. So you could get one outer part and then like 5 different inserts, and you could have this Student of the Gun, Team Honey Badger, and the Patriot Fire Team inserts, so you can change them every day if you wanted to.
Wow.
Yeah.
And do you know what's cool, kids, out there? That the people that went up to NRA, myself and Jared and Alex and Zach, the shipping ogre, well, there was 4 people from the team that went to NRA. 3 of the people have brand new phone cases, and 1 person doesn't. And who do you suppose that person who doesn't have a new phone case might be?
I think that would be you.
It might be me, yeah, because apparently I of everybody, I have the least expensive, most off-brand phone.
I think it's just so old that nobody has them anymore.
It's too bad. Too bad for you. What else do we do? Well, we spent some time with our friends from Tough Products. If you've been listening and paying attention to Student of the Gun for any point in time, or any amount of time, I should say, you know that my favorite pocket holster, pocket scabbard, pocket gun protector is the Pocket Roo, and it comes from Tough Products. I've been using one. The one that's in my front left pocket right now, I have actually been using for more than 365 days. As a matter of fact, I got it at the last NRA annual meeting, which was in Nashville, which was the last weekend of April, first weekend of May. And it was like, it was kind of like May. It wasn't like the 29th of April through the 1st of May or something like that. But anyway, I can read a calendar, and I know that it's been more than 365 days since I've been carrying this, and I've been wearing it every single day. And the only thing that has really changed is that it has, like leather, it's not leather, but like leather, it is kind of molded and configured to the gun that I put in it. And it actually has a kind of a molded hip cant, I guess you could say, because it's always in my left front pocket, and so it is angled to that way. And I was talking to Nat Stevens, the head honcho over there, and he goes, we have a hard time selling those at shows because people don't believe that it will fit in their pocket. They're like, oh, it's too thick, it's too big, it's whatever. And we're like, no, it actually will fit in your pocket. And they're like, I just don't think so. Because people are so used to this suede leather or brushed nylon, these cheap stitched pieces of garbage, these like formless, flaccid pieces of garbage that they've been buying for 20, 30 years, that they don't recognize and understand a quality product. Isn't that kind of a shame, Jared?
Yes.
It's kind of a shame that people have been so conditioned to buy cheap garbage that when they encounter something that's of quality, they don't even know how to deal with it. I can't use that. It broke my chi. But I don't want to talk about that, even though I just did. Actually, I want to talk about a couple of cool things. I'm going to shut my mouth and let Jared tell you about a couple of really interesting products that we encountered from Tough Products.
Okay. Well, first I'll start with the pin. There's a very well-made pin that they have that's less than $100. And we're going to be doing a Student of the Gun version of the pin where it will be engraved with the Student of the Gun logo with the gun on the end. And then what else do we have? Man,
the new logo.
So much stuff.
Well, if you've been, like I said, if you watch season 1 or 2 of Student of the Gun TV, you remember that we introduced you to the kunai pen. Now, the kunai pen was a very expensive,
it's titanium, so
meticulously built It was like lathed and finished, and it had a glass breaker in the end. It's one of the few pens that said it had a glass breaker. A lot of people sell you one. They're like, oh, that round BB looking thing on the end, that's a glass breaker. And as somebody who's broken a lot of car windows, I can tell you, no, that's not a glass breaker. Nice try. But the kunai pen actually is a no-kidding glass breaker, and it does work. We busted how many windows, Jared? More than one.
Yeah.
Well, the new pen is kind of, people said, what they said is, man, I really like that, but I can't give you $400 for a pen. And they said, okay, cool. How about if we charge you $69.95 for a pen that has many of the same features? And they're like, oh, okay, I can do that. So that's what they did. But the new pen, and I'm looking for it here. I can't. It's got a name, obviously. Ha 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 ha! It's the Tough Breakout tactical pen, dude. I oversold it. I thought.
Yeah, it's 60.
I thought it was $69.99. It's on their website. It's $59.99. But it has the glass breaker. So if you guys know of the kunai pen, if you've ever watched the videos that we did when we did the rescue tools and the breaking out and so forth, if you've ever done that, then you know how it works. And it's very cool, very interesting.
And also, if you're a grad program member, you actually can get the pen for cheaper because you have a promo code. So,
ooh, promo code for the grad program. Hey, and what else did we try out this weekend? The iStow pack. This is actually something that's brand spanking new. And if you were on the NRA floor, you saw, well, probably Zach, because I think Zach's the one who was wearing it most of the time.
Yeah.
Because Jared was wearing a suit coat. But a backpack that had the official Student of the Gun logo on it. And that was the Tough Products iStow, S-T-O-W. You're like, well, what the farfik nougat is that? All right, listen up, hippies. Have you ever traveled, ever? You say, yes, Paul, I have traveled. And you got to where you were going. You traveled with a suitcase, right? Yes, Paul, I travel with a suitcase. Okay. Then you get to your destination and you realize that you're gonna go out on the town. You're gonna walk or do whatever. You're gonna do a tour or a trip or something. And you want to take a couple of things with you. You want to take a rain jacket just in case. You want to take a hat. You want to take a bottle of water. You might want to take your extra battery charger or something. Just miscellaneous junk that you're going to carry. How many packs do you want to take with you? You're like, I got a really good pack, but it weighs like 5 pounds empty and it takes up a lot of room, and I'm not going to really put it in my thing. Well, the iStow is a backpack that folds up into itself. You just take it, throw it in your suitcase, get to where you're going, open it up, and throw your daily stuff in it, carry it around. This is not a mountain pack. You're not going to put the iStow on your back and hike over mountains and stuff. This is the container, the pack that you're going to grab, take with you to put that stuff.
This is your go bag.
It's the stuff that you need. And we tried it, and you say, well, it's really super lightweight, so it can't be that strong. We put 2 15-pound kettlebells in this pack and picked it up by the shoulder straps, picked it up by the carrying handle, lugged it around. Would you want to put 2 15-pound kettlebells on your back and carry them? No, you would not want to do that. You're probably going to put 5 pounds worth of stuff in it. Maybe 10 if you're really going crazy and you're stowing water and stuff. So, bros, it's a cool thing. I mean, it's not the end-all, be-all, but once you see it, and I showed my buddy Charles, and he's like, dude, I could have used that every time I've traveled. Or, let's say you get to the airport. How many times have you done this? And they weigh your bag, and it's 52.5 pounds. And those... Oh, I had to stop myself from saying what those people at the airport are. Those bad people, the ones who want to enslave you and that are idiots, those people, they say, oh, you're overweight. Take something out of it.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Yeah, and what are you going to do with the 3 pounds of stuff? You can put it in your butt, or what are you going to do with it? And if you only have one bag, now I know a lot of you played the shifting something to another bag, that's another story. Well, in a situation like this, you could literally pull this iStow out and just put 3 pounds worth of stuff in it, throw it over your back, and drive on. So it's a pretty cool product, and we weren't going to get product heavy on this. I wasn't planning on it, but it's something neat. And hey, what the heck? Try it out, check it out. So who do we see? I got to see, and I actually was able to see and talk to some of my mentors, John Farnham, Ken Hackathorn. Both of those guys were there, and John Farnham was my original mentor. I met John Farnham 30 years ago this summer. That's how long I've known John. I've known Ken not quite as long as that, but he's been one of my good friends and mentors. Wiley Clapp was there. Wiley Clapp is like the godfather of gun writers. My good friend Dick Williams. Those of you who know the NRA publications Shooting Illustrated magazine, if you've ever read Shooting Illustrated in the last 15 years, you've read stuff from Dick Williams. Dick Williams also used to be a brand marketing manager for Surefire flashlights before they lost their minds and got rid of all the good people at Surefire. Surefire used to have a really solid stable of marketing people, and then they decided that they didn't need to market anymore, so they executed them all, and now they are what they are. Can I say that on the radio?
Yep.
Oh, because you know why? It's true. I'm sorry that it's true, but it's true. Dick Williams was the best thing that ever happened to Surefire marketing. But then they hired somebody new. They hired like a new CFO or COO or a CMO or an MFCEO. I don't know what they hired. And they're like, yeah, everybody knows who Surefire is. We don't need to market anymore. But I got to see him, got to see my friend Dave Biggers. And all of you students of the gun out there, thank you. Grad program members, non-grad program members, people who just stopped and said, hey, I listened to the show, thanks. I watched the show, thanks. All of you out there. I thought that at some point in time that I would try and tick you all off. Not tick you off, like just tick down the names of people that I saw. But I realized that I shouldn't do that.
Good luck with that.
There were so many that there's no way I can. If I start saying names and I don't say your name, you're going to be sad, right? So here's the deal. If you said hello to us at the NRA, if you thanked us or took pictures or whatever it is you did, thank you. And we truly appreciate everybody coming out. I mean, there was a lot. I lost count. I didn't even try to count. From Thursday all the way through Sunday, every time we were on the floor, in the hallway, in a booth or whatever, somebody walked up and said hello. We signed, people brought their books with them, the various books that they bought off of Amazon, and had me sign them in booths. And I even signed a Gadsden flag.
Sweet.
Yeah, sweet. So, what else do we
want? That
want?
was Phil, right? Yeah, I remember Phil.
Well, see, I've told myself I wasn't going to say names because if I say it wrong, it's better not to say it than to say it wrong.
This is correct. I actually didn't get to see Phil this time. Phil's been going to trade shows and seeing us since, I think, NRA last year. So I saw him at a couple, and I've talked to him a lot off of like on Facebook and stuff. So
in addition to the normal rogues gallery of sponsors and so forth, we spent some time with our friends at Cold Steel, and they've got should I say Cold Steel has some new products? They always do.
Well, you just did, so.
They always do. And you just got to get their catalog. And they've got a lot of really cool, sharp stuff, just crazy stuff. And a product that we're going to talk about, I'm just going to tease you, all right? You guys know that I like the Voyager knives. You know that I tried to do surgery on myself with the first Voyager knife I ever had. I wasn't planning on it. I wasn't planning on opening my finger up with the Voyager knife, but it just happened. 20-some years ago. Anyway, the first year they were out. Well, they've got a whole series of Voyager knives, and now they partnered with a guy named James Wesley, and it's Rawles. But I'm not hip. Apparently, a lot of people are hip to this dude, and he runs a thing called the Survival Blog. But is it Rawls or Rawles? I don't know. But it's Rawles, and I don't want to deliberately pronounce his name wrong. But they partnered with him, and they did a really super cool Voyager knife that says survivalblog.com on it. And they have black polymer handles, and you can go in their catalog and get them. But did you know this? They did a limited run of olive drab green handles. Andy said they did 1,000 units total. And when they're gone, they're gone. And guess who's holding one of those 1,000 units in his hand right now? This guy. I went to the Cold Steel website and I went to the catalog, and they're not for sale. Only the black handled ones are for sale. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to do a giveaway. Not a contest. Not a giveaway even. Not a whatever. It's going to be a giveaway. So here's the deal. This knife that's in my hand is my property. I own it. It was given to me. It is now something that I possess. It is mine. Now, I may decide to be benevolent and gift it to one of you, just like we gifted the Chaos knives to you a couple of months ago. So pay close attention. You say, but I don't like knives, and I don't like sharp things, and I don't like limited edition special things. Well, if you don't like any of those things, drive on. What else do you want to say about NRA, Jared?
Stuff happened.
Did I stump you? I was there, and there's people and guns and knives and holsters and stuff, and oh man,
I just so much happened.
We spent some time over at our friends at silencershop.com. They had a booth there.
Yes, we're gonna have Jeremy come on, and he's gonna announce something it's gonna be awesome.
It's something that's gonna make it even easier for you to buy silencers in the near future. As we were preparing this, I had all these ideas. I was like, oh, I'll talk about that. Like,
and
wow.
Now they're not there anymore.
Well, no, I'm just kind of like just going randomly through my head.
The meteorite guns.
That was
a cool thing.
I got to go over to actually right next to the Cold Steel booth was Cabot Guns, and you hippies. For no other reason, you know about Cabot Guns because why? Well, because we just had Matt Dorito. We had him on the show, and you guys should know that Matt Dorito has a charity, and one of the ways that he funds his charity is that he'll do, when he's on the road, he does like what, shoot with a celebrity or shoot with a star or whatever. But if you donate to his charity, then he'll do a one-on-one shooting session with you, and the guns that he brings out are from Cabot Guns, and these are insanely high-end 1911s. And I got to meet Robert. Now, Jared, Robert's last name is like Bianchi, but it's not spelled exactly like Bianchi. It's Biankin. And I'm going to go ahead and say Biankin. And I could be wrong, but I think I'm probably right. I got to meet Robert Biankin, who's the president and CEO of Cabot Guns. And really nice guy. Spent some time talking to him. Talked about Matt, obviously, and his bass. And he told me, and this is something that I didn't realize, Matt Dorito has the 1911 bass. He has a bass guitar that actually has a real 1911 and like parts and so you guys got to go online and see it, but he plays it on stage. It's a functional bass with guns in it, Robert was telling me, he goes, Matt made that bass. He said we took a 1911 and we cut it right down the middle so that it would be half the width, so you could inlay it into the bass guitar and with like the cartridges and all the cool stuff. And he said, but Matt actually, he made it, he put it together. I was like, oh, I thought he just sent it away and to a custom, and he's like, no, he did it. I'm like, that's actually pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
And we talked about the meteorite guns. Now, what is a meteorite gun? Well, they took a billion-year-old meteorite. I don't know how old it is, but and they purchased it, and they made it into two fully functional 1911 pistols, and they were on display. And you're like, how much is something? People are like, well, how much will that cost? $1 bajillion. Actually, I believe they said that the estimated cost of the guns, because I'm sure they're insured in case they go missing or something happens to them, but it's like $4.5 million.
Yeah,
I think that was the online. But we put pictures of them up as well. Really cool, like genuinely, no kidding, made out of the metal from a meteorite that landed on Earth from outer space. So they're like outer space guns. They're pretty crazy.
So is it May still? Yes.
Yes.
It's still May, and Christmas is coming in December, and that's my Christmas wish.
Oh, that's your Christmas
item.
wish?
So if anybody wants to buy
Wish
those
with
and
one hand.
send them to Student of the Gun University, that would be great.
Yeah, there you go. Now, do they work?
Yes.
Actually, they do. They're fully functional. They were test fired, and apparently they were shot by all of the members of Cabot Guns. Something that I'd learned because there was a poster in there we were talking. Dee Snider, all of you old guys, like me, know who Dee Snider is, the front man for Twisted Sister. Apparently, Dee Snider is a big fan of Cabot Guns as well. There was a big poster of him holding his crossed 1911 pistols. And believe it or not, I know a lot of you guys are there like, I don't like that rock and roll music. It's bad and the devil and stuff. I'm like, I got that. But Dee Snider actually is a patriot. Dee Snider really gives a crap about the Constitution, and he has devoted a bunch of time in defense of the Bill of Rights, believe it or not. So there's a little helpful thing for you. Who else did we see? Well, I swung over by Wilson Combat, had a booth. And I saw Joyce and Bill, and Larry Vickers was in there signing pictures or something, I guess posters, in their booth. So they were there. Another high-end 1911 manufacturer. And Bill has a new book out. It's called Gun Guy, and I've got a copy of it. And I started reading it 2 days ago, but I'm only into the second chapter right now. So I'm not going to.
I thought you were going to say second paragraph.
Second paragraph.
I was like, I've been reading it for 2 days.
I just got. There's pictures. So I got confused by the pictures. No, but that's gonna be one of our recommended readings. But I'm not gonna recommend it completely. Although, as I was reading it, I realized that a lot of the stories that Bill relates, I already knew about because I got them in person. But that's coming up. What else? Silencers. I guess what we could say is that's one of the big. People say, what was the big item? The big item, it was a few years ago, was 380 pistols. Everybody had 380s. And like 10 years ago, the big item at SHOT was 338 Lapua rifles. Everybody was making a 338, it seemed like, 10 years ago. And, 5 years ago, everybody was making 380 pistols. And that was the big thing. And you're like, well, what was the big thing? And I guess if I had to pick one item that was super popular or that most of the people were pushing or promoting, it would be silencers and suppressors. Don't you think?
Yeah.
Blackhawk has a line of silencers and suppressors now. Yeah, Blackhawk, those people. Obviously, SIG does. SIG launched a huge line of suppressors. Silencer Co. was there. SilencerShop.com obviously was there. Gemtech was there. And our friends at Ackless Defense were there. Now, it's getting towards the end, so I'm going to have Jared go ahead and play the Student of the Gun homeroom music, and then I'm going to tell you just a little bit more about it. How's that sound?
What you gonna do when it all comes back to the place that you never wanted it to come back to? And where you gonna roll when the bottom drops out and you got no place to go? Who you gonna trust when trust is a must? You better roll with the rest of us. So pack your bags and all the faith you can, cause it's about ready to hit the fan. Come to the ready. 2012, not about the re-election of an antichrist. Come to the ready. You don't believe me, just so deep into the soul of the lion's eyes.
Come to the ready. All right, we went over and we spent some time with our friends Charlie and Joe and Zach and Cubby and Roy and Vanessa and everybody at Ackless Defense. And Ackless, in addition to making suppressors for 50 BMG guns and for 22s, they kind of have one that's in the middle there. That's called the Pilum. It's pronounced Pilum. You know how I know that, Jared? Because I went online to the dictionary and I had the computer pronounce it for me.
Really?
Yeah, it's spelled Pilum. And Pilum is the Roman Legion javelin. But the Pilum for you is a 9mm pistol suppressor. And are you sitting down? The MSRP is $399 for a 9mm can. Not a 22 can, 9mm. Now, if you went to the show, If you went to the show, they were taking orders, and if you ordered one on the show floor, they were giving it to you for $350. And what does my mom say? Who says about 50? Bros, you're like, what the farfignugan? Yeah. This is, and here's the crazy thing about this. If you guys know anything about pistol suppressors, you know that pistol suppressors should indeed be breakdownable, tear downable. They should be disassemblable. You should be able to disassemble a pistol suppressor because pistol suppressors, by their very nature, get more dirty than rifle suppressors do. Rifle suppressors don't take apart. Just leave it alone. Shoot the 5.56 308 through it. It'll be okay. On the other hand, a pistol can, you need to be able to disassemble it, and every once in a while, like with guns, spray some solvent on it, get all that carbon and unburnt powder and nastiness off of it. Well, Zach Hall, who is a freaking engineering genius over there, between Zach, Charlie, and Joe, they came up with a design here. And if Dennis or whomever, if you were involved in this and I didn't acknowledge you, I do heartily apologize, and I'll drive over to Baton Rouge and you can kick me in my testicles for not acknowledging you. But the fact of the matter is you can disassemble this. Now, you know, a lot of 9mm cans, they have stacked baffles, and when you take it apart, you have like 10, 12 separate pieces of stuff on the table in front of you. Well, what the guys over at Ackless did is they designed a baffle system that is a solid piece. It's ninja voodoo. It really is. Now, I haven't shot this can yet, and I feel ashamed of myself for not having done that. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to get over to Baton Rouge, and I'm going to shoot this can. That's what's going to happen. What do you think, Jared? Is that going to happen?
I think that is going to happen.
We're Americans. We can make that happen. And you know what? I'm looking at the pictures on their website, and what's funny is I know exactly where those pictures were taken because we've been in the shop.
Yeah.
And I know I recognize the backdrop for the pictures. But that is your Student of the Gun homeroom brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters moment and recommended product today. It's the Ackless Defense Pilum 9mm silencer. Bros, shop online right now. I dare you to find a 9mm handgun suppressor for less than $400.
Now you can get a pistol and a suppressor for less than $1,000.
Woo!
Well, I don't know about that if you include the tax stamp.
Well, yeah, the tax stamp. Government. Nah. All right, that's it for the public broadcast week. But if you're a grad program member, fear not. You'll be able to hear my voice tomorrow morning. And if you're not a grad program member, well, you can fix yourself real easy. Go to studentofthegunradio.com and you click on the button and just join us. Does it say join us or become one? Or
sure. Become a member.
Become a member. And you can
Top
do that.
right corner.
And you can listen to every Friday show. And you get the monthly Tactical Tutor newsletter. And you get first pick on all the new cool goodies that we put out. And videos and just 24/7 access.
Yep.
You go all back to number one.
On tomorrow's grad program, we're going to
announce much good stuff.
Yeah, we're going to announce a competition to name the new holiday here in the Student of the Gun world. June 4th is going to be a new holiday.
What?
And you'll find out
I
why.
didn't even know this was happening.
Yeah, you'll find out
it's
why
crazy.
tomorrow, and you will also be able to join in on picking the name. There are two names, so we're going to pick between the two.
All right, grad program people. Stand by to listen louder in just 24 hours. We will see you soon. Bye.